Alright, so here I am in SketchUp. I'm going to try to model a 3D bracket that I found on the internet. So I'm going to start off by changing my color set here. I don't need the horizon when I'm modeling something from a picture like this. Let's see, it's probably good practice to save from the beginning, so I'll call this bracket 3000. Select my engineering folder. Alright, I think I'm ready. So I'm going to remove my person here. Okay, and I'm going to go to insert. The image is on my computer. I know this is the file I need. It's a JPEG. I'm going to click image, and I'm going to hover over the origin, click and drag out a little bit. That's probably good right there. Okay. Then I'm going to go to, let's see, I want scenes. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and here's my house with the view from above. I'm going to click on it. Okay. So now what I want to do is I actually want to resize this image so it's accurate. So I'm going to click on the tape measure here. Okay, and then I'm going to find something that I know I can use. From this point to this point, looks like it's 100. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag over to here. Okay, and then I'm going to type 100, enter. It's going to say, do you want to resize the model? I do. Okay. Now let's pan so we can get a little better view here. Now it's been resized. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to explode this image so I can work on it. So I'm going to hit explode. Okay. All right. Now the nice thing about this drawing is that it's lined up. You see how this line matches this line, and this line is on the same plane as this line. So I'm going to try to maintain that. Okay, when I cut this down. So I'm going to pull up the rectangle tool. That's probably good. I click there. Okay. And I don't need the rest of this stuff. So it's highlighted. I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard, and it's going to go away. All right. Now I'm going to try to isolate these three different pictures. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the line tool. And I'm going to, let's see if I can close this off like that. Okay. And I'm going to close this off here. Let's see. I'm going to draw a line down here like this. And I don't need all this space down here either. So I'm going to close that off. Okay. That's probably pretty good. Let's see. Maybe I'll get real detailed and I'll try to close off this here too. Okay, so I'm going to delete all this extra space around here. Okay. Could be that there's a more efficient way of doing this, but this works as well. Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of all these extra lines. I'm going to pull up my eraser, and I'm just going to go around Get rid of all these extra lines. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to actually make these three images into a group. Well, an individual group. So I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit make group. I'm going to do the same for this one. Make group. And I'm going to do the same for this one. Make group. Okay. All right, let's get a little more room here on our screen. All right, now what I want to do is I want to try to position these three images into like a cage. So I can then use the rectangle tool and the line tool to model this bracket. All right, so let's see. Let me reposition myself here. Sometimes I like to orbit around just to get my bearings. All right, so I know that I want this top view to be on the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it. I'm going to bring up the move tool and I'm going to snap that to the origin right here. Okay. Now let's move this out of the way just a little bit. Okay. Now this image right here needs to be brought up. All right. So I'm going to bring up the rotate tool and I'm going to rotate it around the red axis. So let's see. I'm going to click here, drag out this arm, bring it up like that. Okay. That looks good. Now I'm going to have to do the same with this one as well. So I might as well do it now. Bring up the rotate tool. I'm going to click here. Click here. And bring that up. Like that. Okay. So since this piece is going to go over here, let's move it now. Selected. Let's bring up the move tool. And I'm going to snap it to the origin. Just like that. Okay. Now we can take this piece right here and we can rotate it 90 degrees. All right. It's selected. Let's bring up the move tool. Let's see. This time, though, I want to rotate it around the blue axis here. Okay, so let's just click here. Come out. Doesn't even matter how far I come out. I just want it to be on the red. And I want to snap it on the green. Just like that. Okay. All right. Now, so again, what we've done is we've taken the big image that we found off the internet. We cut it down into 3 different views. And now we've taken those views and we are creating a cage for which we can then model on the inside. Okay. Let's push this back just a little bit. It doesn't need to be right up here on the edge like this. Okay. So let me bring up the move tool. And I'm going to click here. And I'm going to push it back just a little bit. Like that. Okay. That's all we did is we just pushed it back a little bit. Now let's take this piece and let's bring it over so it's lined up with this edge right here. Okay. All right. So move tool. It's probably good. Okay. So now we've got a nice... Oh, I see a little mistake. Notice how this line right here is not lined up with this line. So let's try to move this to the right just a little bit. Maybe that can... I'll click on the move tool. I want to move it on the green axis, so I just went ahead and clicked on the arrow key. And so that way I don't like jiggle it out of position. That's probably good. Okay. So we're going to want to move this down too. I think that's good. Well, it's probably good. Let's just see what happens. We can always adjust it later. All right, so next I want to go back to the scenes here, and I want to... Okay, so there's our view from above. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the parallel projection by clicking this button right here. All right, and let's add a scene here. Click on that little plus sign, and let's just call this top. Okay. And let's call this, let's add a scene. We'll call this side. All right. And we'll call this, we'll add a scene and we'll call this front. And we'll add one more. We'll call this isometric. ISO. All right. And then I know that I'm going to want to adjust the transition time for which these things adjust themselves to 0.5. All right. So by clicking on these different scenes, it automatically will switch for us. Okay. So let's just start off with the top view. All right. So now what we can do is we can take the rectangle tool and we can outline this square here. All right. Now I'm going to use my mouse and my orbit wheel to adjust this a little bit. I want to hit the push-pull tool, and I want to bring this up. Now, since I'm in this angular view here, I can't really tell how high I want to bring it up. So that's why I can now click on my side view, okay, and I can see that I want to bring it up to about right here. Click. And then if I orbit a little bit, I can see the bottom of it. I can click from the bottom and I can push up. And as I'm pushing up, I can go back over and click the side button. And here I can see that I want to bring it to about right there. Okay. Now, if I click on ISO, I can see that I've modeled this particular section of the bracket. All right. All right, let's see. So what else can we do? Let's go back to the top view. Now, I can probably pull this section out to meet this right here. Now to do that, I'm going to use the push-pull tool again, but this time I'm going to click on Control because I actually want to extend the face. It's hard to see, but there's a little plus sign right here. That means that I'm going to actually create a new face. I'm going to click. I'm going to bring it out. Don't quite know how far to bring it out, so I'm going to click on Side View, and I'm going to bring it out to about right there. Okay. All right, now if I click on ISO again, you can see I added a whole new face, and it looks about right. All right, let's see. Where can we go next? Let's go back to the top view. And now we can extend this side all the way out here. So I'm using my push-pull tool. I'm going to do the Control button again because I want to make a whole new face. So I'm going to click Control. Notice the plus sign. I'm going to bring it out. It's hard to tell how far to stop. So I'm going to click on Side View. And I'm going to bring it out to about right there. That looks about right. I'm going to click. All right, here we go. That looks about right. Okay, now what can we do next? Well, there's several different ways we can approach this. We can cut these angles right here. We can lay down some circles and push-pull them all the way through. We can create this shape right here. We could even extend this face upwards. Maybe we should do that first. Let's extend this up to this point right here. All right. So let's see. We want to go back to side view. I want to bring up push-pull. Actually, I don't need to extend. I don't really need to extend this face, so I can just do without the control button right now. Bring this up. I'm going to click side here. And I'm going to bring it up to right there. Okay. All right. Starting to come together. So, what do we want to tackle next? Let's see. Well, how about this? I know I have this measurement of 20 right here. So why don't I create a guideline right here that's 20 millimeters in. That might be a good idea. So if I pull up T, use hotkey T, I can click anywhere on this side. And I can come in. I'm just going to type 20 on the keyboard. Enter. Okay, so now that's there. And if I come over here, I see something interesting. Something that looks useful. I notice that from here to here is 20. And that is true over here as well, even though this says 25. From this point to this point is 20. So I can create two guidelines. Let's see, I'll create one here, going in, or going out 20. And I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to type 20 on the keyboard. All right. So let's see, where am I going with this? Now, since I've created these guidelines, I can then take the line tool. I can bring up the line tool and zoom in a little bit. Look for that X. I can come over here. All right. Now let's say I do the same thing here, coming straight down. Notice it's blue, which means it's following the blue axis. Click here. Let's do the same thing. Come straight down. All right. Now if I use the push-pull tool, I should be able to just, oh, there we go. Cool. Let's do the same on this side. Look for that X. Look for the X. Let's come straight down. Let's do the same thing over here. There we go. Let's bring up the push-pull tool. Come straight down. Click and it's gone. All right. So, all right. Maybe we should, looks like I don't think I need this guideline anymore. This one right here. So I'm going to just get rid of that one. Okay. I'm going to keep these two guidelines here. Well, maybe I don't need to keep those either. I'll get rid of those two for now. I can always put them back if I need to. Okay. All right. Where can we go next? Well, I think that this number 25 is very useful. Okay. So I'm going to create a guideline from here, from the edge, out 25. Use my keyboard. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go out 25. And the reason why I did that is because it looks like the circles are intersecting. See that? They're intersecting at this 25 millimeter guideline part. Okay. All right. What else can I do? Oh, you know what? Maybe I should not have. Let me bring up a 20 millimeter guideline from here. Okay. Now what do you notice? Well, what I see is that this line and this line, which is the 25, is the intersection point for a hole right here. Okay? So we'll take care of that in a second. Now from, let's see, 40 is this distance. So if I create a guideline from here out, which is 40, that'll then allow me to create the other circles. Let's try that. Let's see. So I'll click here. I'm going to come out 40. Okay. So it puts a little mark right there. Now, I'm just curious what this from here to here is. Little tick mark that we created. It looks like, well, I think it's supposed to be 20. Okay. Well, we do know that 40 and 20 is 60. So if I create, let me Control Z that last. Let's get rid of that. Let's just make one coming out here that's 60. No, wait. There. 60. Okay. So we have our intersection points for our circles. All right. Now, how big do we want our circles to be? It looks like they have a radius of 2.5. I believe I remember that. So I'm going to bring up my circle tool. I'm going to put it right here on the intersection. I'm going to bring out. And I'm going to be careful as I'm extending my radius to keep it on this guideline. Okay. There's a reason for that. 2.5 I'm going to type. That's going to be my radius. Actually, no. I said radius 5. Let's Control Z that. 5. Okay. Now, did I keep it on the axis? Let me double check that. I did. 5. There we go. All right. Now here's what we can do. We can push-pull this circle all the way through. Okay, come orbit from below. Click below. And there we go. Now if we go back to our top view, we should see that it goes all the way through. And I think it does. Yeah. All right, let's do another circle here. Five. Let's do another one. 5. 5. And let's push pull all 3 of these. Orbit below. See how far we go down. It looks good. Let's do this one. Let's orbit below. See what I'm doing here? I'm just making sure it lines up. Okay. And let's do that here. All right. That looks pretty good. All right, now let's see if we can work on these 2 shapes right here. Let's take a pause real quick and see if we can think about what is the best way to tackle this. All right, let's see. Let's look at our side view again. Looks like we need to actually bring this part down a little bit. Okay. So let's see if we can pull this down. Let's click on side. There we go. That's better. All right. So let's see, tackling this part right here. So from here, this point out 50 is where we can start our circle intersections. So if this is 20, I can create a guide coming out here, 30. All right. And let's see. All right, this number right here is significant, 20. So let's create a guide from here, coming out 20. Let's do the same on the other side. 20. Okay. So we've got 20. Let's create a circle right here. Five. Let's do the same. Let's do the same over here. Five. Let's push-pull these through. Okay. Now, what I'm wondering next is, what is the distance from here, this point right here, to this point? And it doesn't say, but it does show 50 right here. Okay, so I could create a guide from here out 50. There we go. And then I could create my circles. 5 and 5. Okay. Let's push-pull through. Push-pull all the way through. Okay. I'm starting to look good. All right. All right. Let's clean up a little bit. It's getting confusing. Okay. So now I think what I could do is I could just create, we'll try it and see. I could create a line right here. Coming over to here. Create a line here to there. Let's see if I can push-pull this through. On face. Did that work? Oh, it did. Oops. Almost. Maybe if I just select this and delete it. There we go. What happened? It's probably an easier way to do this, but I do have to get rid of. See if I bring up the eraser, I can get. There you go. Let's bring up the eraser tool. Okay. All right. So that looks cool. Although it didn't, looks like it didn't stick with the sides. Let me Control Z that. I think I probably need to erase. No. You know what? I think I should have waited to push pull. Oops. Redo that. All right, let me bring that guideline back here. Come out 50. Create my circle. 5. 5. Let me create these lines here. Looking for that intersection label. Sometimes you have to zoom in to get it. There we go. Let's see if I can delete this now. There we go. Oops. Now it could be doing that because I didn't do something right. Oh, look at that little. Oh yeah, look. Right there. That's not good. See that? That's not good. Let me Control Z. A few steps. All right, let's slow down a little bit. Try that one more time. Okay. All right. Notice it deleted all at one time. Right there, I'm having trouble. Maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe when I laid down my circle, I didn't lay it down in the right spot. That could be it. So now I'm really going to back up a little bit. All right. So. Make sure I get the intersection spot. Oh, all right. So I know what's going on here. Notice my radius, okay? When I laid down my other circles, I made sure that my radius was laying on the guideline. I don't think I did that earlier. I was trying to move too fast, and I messed up. So here, I am going to make sure that my radius is laying on the guideline. Okay, and I'm going to type 5. Oh, it's locked in at 5. So I'm going to click. Let's try that now. Now let's try. Let's see. There we go. All right, now if I push pull, looks good. All right, that looks better. All right, let's do the same thing over here. I want to make sure that when I lay this circle down, I'm laying my radius on the guideline. 5, enter. Let's do up here. Okay. Erase. Erase. All right. Let's push pull all the way through. Okay. We're good. There we go. That's how it's supposed to look. All right. Now I think we can get rid of some of these guidelines. Okay. All right. So, what should we do next? Well, let's see. I'm trying to see what this picture is back here. All right, notice that from this point to this point is 50. So I can create a guideline for that. Let's do that right now. Here, I'll just come out 50. Okay. What else? Let's see. Could probably just eyeball it at this point, but trying to be somewhat accurate here. All right, here's 60 from what looks like the bottom to the center point of the circle. So let's do that. Let's create a guideline for that. Can do that over here. 60. Now I could create a line where these points meet. Like that. Now I can create a circle. Now this circle's bigger. So let's make this one have a radius of 10. Let's just put 10. There we go. I can get rid of this line now. Well, no, I'm not going to get rid of that line now because from this line, let me add another line on the other side. Okay. Let's push pull this. Let's erase this. And let's push pull it all the way through. There we go. All right. Let's take a look at our different views here. So that looks like the circle size was about right. So what I want to do now is I want to create this shape here. What am I missing? Just want to make sure it's symmetrical. I know it's not triangular like that, but I'm just... Looks like it goes more in. So what if I take the midpoint right here? If I find the midpoint here, and I come down, and then I find the midpoint over here, and I come down. That angle looks better to me. Okay. And then I can take the arc tool. I can click from here to here, and I can create my arc. Let me look at my front view. Like that. Does that look right? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's do some push-pulling and some erasing. Let's get rid of this piece, this piece. Let's get rid of this piece, and this piece, this piece, and this piece, this piece, and this piece. We should be able to push-pull these two side pieces away. Right? Kind of looks like it. Pretty close. It's definitely pretty close. I'm not sure I'm happy with that though, because I think it's too... I think it looks too wide up here. So I'm going to do some Control Z's. Nope, I don't want to take away my circle. You know what I should do? I should pull up X-ray mode. Let's go back to front view. Let's come over here. Let's type X-ray. Toggle that on. There we go. All right, now we're making some action here. What if I use X-ray mode? Okay. Let me erase this line here. Erase this line here. All right, I'm going to use X-ray mode. I'm actually going to create a line. There's my center. I'm going to create a line right there. It says it's 29.47. Okay. Well, I'm not going to try to recreate that. I'm just going to copy it. Move, Control. I'm going to add it to the other side. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring up the line tool. And on my endpoint, I'm going to connect. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to connect. Okay. And now I'm going to use... Well, even if I use the arc tool there, it might still be too much. So let's just extend this a little bit. Notice the pink color. Looks like it starts turning or arcing right about here. So let's do that. And let's come over. Oops, what happened? Something happened there. Or was it on face when I was editing that? Let's try that again. That was my mistake. There we go. Okay, that's better. Now I can go back to front view. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Go back to front view. From here, I'm just going to come up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to click here. I'm going to use my inference. See that? I'm going to snap it, click it. Okay, I'm going to come over here, do the same thing. All right, now I'm going to create my arc. Click here, come up. About right there. There we go. Let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Let's turn off X-ray mode. Okay, and let's do some push pulling. Clean up that. Get rid of this line. Oh, wow. All right. So I think it's ready for 3D printing. Looks pretty good. What do you think? Is it ready? Do a little cleanup right here. Okay. For 3D printing, I don't think I need this line right here. Same on the other side. Same here. And here. Now I think it's ready. I think that looks pretty good. All right. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. Try this. And let me know.